Welcome to the click. Let's find the square root of a number using the general method. Of course, you can put a number in a calculator and you can find the square root of it very simply in seconds. But let's assume that you're in a test that you cannot, bring calculator with yourself in. Or you are in a situation that you don't have access to the calculator and you need to find the square root of a number one day, right? At that time, you use a method named the general method. And the general method involves these steps. I'm not going to read them. Let's instead practice and then go with the steps one by one. So the first number is 441. So I will write 441 in the center. And then let's go with the steps. First step, draw the square root symbol. Okay, so let's draw it like this. Second of all, starting from the right, separate the digits into pairs. Okay, starting from the right. Okay, so into pairs, 1, 2, 1. Okay, the next step, find the largest number whose square is less than or equal to the leftmost group. So my leftmost group is just one number 4. So I need to find a number that when squared is actually less than or equal to 4. And that is 2, because 2, when 2 is squared, it is equal to 4. So 2. Okay, the next step, write this number at the first digit of the root and subtract its square from the leftmost group. Okay? So writing it as the first digit of the root, I need to write it on the left and also on top, okay? Because on top, we are writing our root number on top or our result on top. So yeah, and then I need to subtract the square of this number by the leftmost number. So yeah, the square of 2 is 4. 4 subtracted by 4 is going to be 0. Okay? What else? So we have bring down the next pair of digits. Okay, so bringing them down, 41. Okay, the next part, double the current root and write it down. Okay, my current root is 2, so I need to double it. The double of 2 is 4, the same to its square. Okay, I wrote it down. What else? Find a digit that can be added to the doubled number and multiplied by that same digit without exceeding the current value. What does this mean? I need to find a number that can be added to the double number as the first place and multiplied by that same digit, okay? By the same digit or by the same root, by my root, without exceeding the current value. So I need to find a number that will be, written with my current root and also will be multiplied by this, okay? That will be multiplied by this number. And this number, 4, I've written it 4, but, it also needs another number on the right. So the number that I will write in here, this will be multiplied with this number, okay? It will be multiplied. And then the result of this multiplication needs to be equal to or smaller than this number. So let's start with 2. So I have 2, for example, and I will, as I said, you write the 2 on top, also on the left, okay, on the right side of this number and on the left side of these numbers. So 2 should be multiplied with 42. This 2 should be multiplied with 42. 2 times 42, it equals 84. And 84 is so much greater than 41 in here. So 2 is incorrect. So let's go with a smaller number. Okay, what number is smaller than 2? Of course, 1. So let's write 1. I will write 1 in here and also in here. Okay, so 1 times 41, it equals 41. The result of multiplication, we write it under the current result, and then we subtract them. So the result is 0. So our root is 21. Okay, what does this mean? It basically means that the square root of 441, the square root of it is equal to 21. And this is our answer. Let's go with the second example. So I have another number, for example, 625. Okay, let's write 625. First of all, drawing the symbol. Second of all, separating them into pairs. And then third of all, finding a number that when squared equals or is less than the leftmost pair. So the number is again 2, because when 2 is squared, it equals 4. But when 3 is squared, it equals 9, which is greater than 6, right? So let's write 2. 2 on top and on right. So 2 squared, it equals 4. Let's do the subtraction. 6 minus 4, 2. So let's bring down the second pair. Right now we have 225. Okay, right now we should double the root, the current root. So we should double it, it will be 4. And how we can find the next digit of root? Well, we can do two things. We can just find manually, or we can divide this number by this number, and then anything that the result is going to be our next digit of root. For example, 2, 3, anything, right? So let's find it manually. So I will go with the number 4, for example. So writing 4 on top and on left side, on the right side of this number. Okay, so let's multiply them. 4 times 44, it is going to be 176. Okay, now that I see 176 is so small, I can definitely, bring this to one higher level. So let's pick 5 instead of 4. So writing 5 on top and on the left. So 5 times 45, it is going to be exactly 225. Doing the subtraction, the result is 0. So our root is 25. So right now we know that the square root of 625 equals 25. Okay, we're done. Thank you very much. I hope you got the lesson. If you've got it, just comment down below one like emoji or any emoji that you like, a positive emoji. And if you haven't learned it, feel free to ask your desired questions in our Telegram group. And the link is below in the description box. Thank you. Sources page.